start X. Okay. All right, we're live on YouTube. Oh man, Facebook, you have been giving me some problems lately. Okay. We're live on Facebook.
Nice. I guess X is left, right?
Wait.
Aha, no.
Okay, we're live on X. Everything's acting a little glitchy today.
No, it says something went wrong. Okay.
Okay, top post on X. There we go. Okay, top post, we're up on X.
Nice, I see it.
Got one last to go. Here we go. Okay, we're live on IG. Oh shit, that was not the comment I wanted to post. Good morning, everyone.
It says not accessible on X for the content.
I'm watching it right now.
Aha, this transmission is not available.
Is this the top post on X?
Yeah.
On my page?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Maybe refresh. Is this the top
Yeah,
post on X?
I did, but yeah. No.
Let's see. I'll drop a comment. Let's see if everything.
Oh, strange.
Anyone out there?
Maybe is it something region stuff or?
Nah, it says we got views. I'm leaving comments. Everything seems to be working correctly. Hang on. I'll send you the link. Hang on.
I'll restart also my X.
Here, let me. All right. Here we go.
Ah, now I see it. I had to restart my X.
Oh, all right. Let's. All right. Good. That's working. Let's get the show going. All right.
Perfect.
See you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All the time alone. When I am perfectly willing to give her everything she needs. I don't care consider me. I know you don't want no commitments, baby. I just wanna set your body free. And I don't care what's going on in the night. I just wanna get your head right, baby. Give you all the love I got for sure. So baby, if you've got that feeling, you know I wanna give you that midnight healing. Oh, I just wanna make love to you all night long. Midnight healing, baby. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
All right. Hang on, everybody. A little bit of a. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's go full screen. There we go. Let me make sure this is over here. Let me make sure you have this. Hang on, y'all. I'm coming. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Everything's acting a little glitchy today. Okay, good. We're all up everywhere. Okay. Come on. Let's go. All right, that's it. Everybody's in. Okay. Watch out. I got a show to do. All right, good morning, y'all. Welcome to HOP. Hang on, let me get myself situated. Let's do a audio check. Let's make sure everything's good everywhere. I know. Check. 1 2 1 2. Okay, well, good. I slipped my mind that I was doing a. So I have a. I'm talking to you, Lord, but I was having a streaming video. Let me make sure. Okay, good. We're all good. All right. What's up, guys? I apologize for the rough start. I had the studio rearranged, and had a little technical glitches this morning, but we're gonna have a great show. Let me check this time and see what time we're starting at. 8:10. Okay, 9:10. We gotta go to 11:10. Okay. Welcome everybody to HOP episode 410. A guest. We have a wonderful guest this morning. I've had a chance to make friends with this gentleman quite a few times. He's been on the show quite a few times as well, but with the community shows. He was on our Vortex community show. He was also on our Win community show. So you guys have seen him a couple times already, but very briefly. And so today we get a chance to meet him and talk to him in full length, do an hour spotlight with him. And so without further ado, let me bring him up. Wicked, do me a favor. Go sit down, Wicked, okay? All right, we got him there. Excellent. Hang on. Let's bring you up here. All right, good. We got you here and here. I got to get that animation. What's up, Lord? Say hello to everybody. Phil?
Hello, Mark. Hello, everyone looking at the broadcast. Really nice to be here. I love your shows, Mark. And I'm really honored to be to be featured in a spotlight show. That's amazing.
Well, it's so many good shows with you and your art. But then not only that, man, having a chance to get to know you, meet you in spaces, and it's just a lot in spaces, at the right spaces too, and especially Sketches space, and just sitting back, listening and chatting. And so it seemed like to me a lot more than an artist is involved here. And that's exciting to me because I'm going to let you tell everyone, but I kind of know the background. And between the Moon Mars stuff and the physicist stuff, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. So this is your spotlight show, Lord. And why don't you take a couple minutes, introduce yourself to everyone. I mean, I feel like I know you, right? But why don't you take a couple minutes to introduce yourself, give everybody a brief history. Talk about everything. And also let them know where you just came from, and we'll get to that. So many things, so many good topics of conversation today. But go ahead, why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, so let's let's start early. So when I was a kid, then I liked creating stuff. I was kind of an inventor guy. I also really liked tech stuff. So then I started studying a lot of subjects. I started with kind of astronomy, philosophy, history of ideas. And I was set to become an astronomer, I thought, but then that didn't happen. Life took some other turn, and it became physics. Then I got kind of involved in working on an electron accelerator, so really state-of-the-art technology, really complicated stuff, but very funny and interesting to work with. So I love troubleshooting, so that just fitted me perfectly. So then I felt there was something missing in my life. I needed to create stuff, and I have kind of always had a bit of an artistic vein. So I've been working in screen printing and helping out creating originals for companies and stuff like that. And so then I felt then came NFTs. So kind of for me, that was late 2021. I was onboarded and I was hooked instantly. I thought it was very interesting. So then I started creating NFTs. I had an idea in the beginning to start a Swedish community, so NFT Sweden. I own that account also. So, but that kind of died out because I couldn't find many Swedes out here and that were engaged in NFTs. So then, and it was weird. I had one of my best friends was a Latino American woman. I spoke a lot with immigrant kiddo. She's unfortunately not around on X any longer. But she actually put me in contact with Songs of Eden, which is a Swedish guy. That then in turn knew Johanna Nyqvist, the founder of the Vortex community. So on that road, it just continued. She pulled me into AI art, and then I was completely hooked. I just loved it. So then since like early 2022, I have been crafting AI art and trying to excel and become better and better at it. And I really love it. And then I should say also I got involved in other communities as well, which I kind of see as my family also. So we have the ENS Maxis, really cool because I like technology, so I got interested in ENS domains and trading and in understanding that. So that was, and it's an amazing community that has a lot of corporate knowledge and a lot of knowledge. And I also got involved in Tycoon Tigers, which is led by Mirza Vayahat. He's an amazing Pakistani guy that I feel kind of bro with him, and he has this community with corporate mindset and putting the work in. Work ain't done. You just go sweat some, do what you need to do. So that I think that has given me a lot of things for that, a lot of tools for the future. So that has been amazing, and on all the wonderful people I've met. So many amazing people. That was actually shocking at start because I was expecting a lot of trolls. But I have to say, I think I've met 3 trolls that has been pestering me kind of throughout the years. But so many nice people in the NFT business, so it's amazing.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you, and I say it almost every show. I say that I met some of the best people that I've met in life during this little NFT digital collectible phase. You know, it seems like you might have been around. So there's a few people that have really been around from 2018. But you were also around in the beginning. Now, I wasn't aware of any, you know, when I kind of came into the space, the PFP projects were blowing up. And of course, people brought a lot of attention through his art. Then that big sale, and that's what kind of like directed me. And I said, wait a second, somebody's selling digital art? And where is this taking place? And this is all taking place in crypto. And what is going on right now, right? And so there's something else out there besides the physical gallery world. There's something going on online with marketplaces. And so it took me a while to get myself situated and to really understand everything that was going on. The first year I was, I was completely directed. I came in just thinking about art, and then all of a sudden I heard about these PFP projects. And then immediately, I think what happens to every artist starts to incorporate some sort of PFP project into their art. And then trying to figure out how to manipulate and get this PFP project about their art to take off the way these projects are taking off. But then as the PFP project kind of got quieter, as a lot of the investors and collectors kind of quieted down and started moving over to meme coins or just general trading, all the artists started popping up. You know, I started to see all the art and all the galleries and all the exchanges and then, you know, spaces. It was kind of like the artists were the only people left. You know, during this time period, I had a chance to meet so many great artists and so many great people, and not just artists. And I always say, you'll always hear me say that I believe there's an artist in everyone. It's just what type of artist are you? And you can be an artist in so many ways. Lord, you could be an artist in fixing things, you know? And see, I'm a big fixer myself. So, okay, let's take it back to the beginning. You started young with the brief introduction, but was there any art, physical art, where did you ever create when you were younger? And then how did you make the turn, you know, because was it outside influences that made you say, maybe I should get more serious and with my studies, and is that what, I mean, was there, okay, here's a better question. Was art ever a thought in the beginning? Did it ever, you know, say, hey, I'm going to, you know, jump into an art scene or a digital tech art scene? I mean, that, you know, but was art ever a consideration in the very beginning? Did it ever cross your mind, or was it something that came later?
No, I would say it's something that came later. I enjoyed creating some like art when I was little. So I have a, but I can't say I was very good at it because I mean it can look quite nice. I made a skull like once and in watercolor and sketch first sketching it and then watercolor, but it took me a lot of time to do it. So I felt so that was kind of I needed to get my creative side working a bit more. So then to kind of feel some kind of fulfillment. So and what it's so let's say I have two kind of driving forces. I love tech and get into nitty gritty details of stuff, and I also love creating stuff. And so I worked as a teacher also, and private teacher before. And then I ended up spending my evenings trying to kind of twerk my computer and do stuff, do technical stuff, like all sorts of solutions at home, electrical sorts, break down equipment, look inside. Yeah. So then I felt okay, I need more tech in my life. So then it was a perfect match for me to get into this accelerator workplace. But then also I felt that there is still something missing in my life. I actually applied for an art course. So I was supposed to have an art course here in Lund, Sweden, that was led by a kind of half famous artist. But then there were too few participants, so it never happened. So but then I felt when I could create, because I have a lot of images in my mind that I'm thinking, oh, it would be super cool to see this. What if I combine these two things in a really kind of new way? So then like AI art became like it was a perfect marriage for me. And I've been doing some photography also over the years. I loved photo. I had a system camera, like the analog type, from long ago, but that it became, I mean, it's extremely expensive to do photography that way. Then you take your like 10 pictures of one thing and just pray that one of them is turning out really good, and then you pay like what can be $0.5 per image to get them on paper, and then you find out, okay, now none of the 36 so then write down the settings and stuff. Yeah, so now so I will pick that up again also. I take some artistic photos with my iPhone camera, but I have a digital system camera also that I just need to get through the manual. It's like 400 pages manuals. It feels almost impossible to use it.
I have so what type of camera do you have, Lloyd?
Oh, now it was I haven't brought it up in long. I bought battery. It's a super old one.
Okay.
So let's see. I think it's a Canon,
Okay. Okay.
but I forgot the model.
Okay. So well, I just want, if you ever need any help, it's one of the few things that I know very well. So I could definitely give you a crash course in cameras. That I am, yeah. I will say this, Lord. You strike me as the type of guy that looks at something looks at the manual of it, and you are very good at technical reading, understanding the operations of the camera. So I am that guy. I don't know if my dog has to go to the bathroom or what, but she's pacing back and forth. I'm that guy that never reads the manual. Yeah, I'm that guy. And so I never really truly understand how everything works perfectly, because there's always a lot of intricacies. But I will say this: I love the Sony camera. But before we get off on a tangent about photography, teaching, and let's go through high school and college. What were the decisions, and what did you major in? And deciding to be a teacher also, what did you teach?
So just a quick, I could be that guy also, not reading the manual. I sometimes I do that, and then I'm thinking like, how hard can it be? I see the manual's too thick, and then I'll make it. I'll just try it out. But yeah, so then it goes both ways for me.
Lloyd, are you a puzzle guy?
Yeah.
I figured that.
Yeah. So back to the question. So I at the start actually I wanted to become a doctor, but so I applied for that like many times at the university. I didn't get in because I didn't have the grades needed, and I think that probably was might have been the best what happened. I don't know, but then
you wanted to fix humans.
yeah, exactly. And then I also got into psychology, so that I've also attended a course. So I want to know more how the human mind works, and no, so that was very interesting, but tough to read. It takes its toll to read psychology. It cannot be read kind of lightweight on the surface. It strikes a punch inside. So then I kind of decided, no, it's not for me. So then I wanted to become an astronomer instead. So I started studying astronomy at the university. And but then actually the manager of the institution, I discussed with her regarding how to do and stuff, how to become an astronomer. And I had kind of the wrong impression of what an astronomer usually does. So that they don't sit at the telescope and watch cool stuff. They sit at the computer and they analyze images and apply algorithms. And then I felt kind of, that's maybe not for me then. So then it became philosophy, just because I was interested in how to say, cognition and how we think, kind of what and like enigmas and stuff like that. And but eventually I got into physics. So but I've always had a kind of interest towards medicine. So, but I majored in physics, and actually my main subject is like threefold almost. So it's nanotechnology, but I also specialized in theoretical physics and biophysics. So my diploma work was kind of towards medicine. So a nano sensor for measuring really low concentrations. So that was really cool. And then I thought I was going to be a guy in nanotechnology. So I had my PhD set for me. They made it for me to apply for, so it was tailored to me. But unfortunately, nanotechnology wasn't super popular at that time financially. So because you had all this, that why should the companies change their way of producing things, because this nano stuff is more expensive and they don't need it, kind of. It's not mandatory for them. So then they got money for the PhD from a European project, which meant that only people that weren't Swedish citizens could apply for it. So that you can imagine, there
That
was
must have been
kind of
frustrating.
a cold shower indeed. So I had a tailored PhD, and it ended up that that was a French woman that got kind of my spot, and I was paid for 2 months to teach her how to do my job. So, so then that kind of settled it for me. Then I thought, okay, I won't become a PhD then. So I'll just, and I will have always been interested in teaching. So then I wanted to try that. So then I kind of, I did like 1 year of research after my diploma work, and then like a freelance scientist connected to the university. Then I went on as a teacher for like 6 years or something. So and I liked it a lot, but as I said before, then I felt that I lost out on the technical side and also on the physics I have learned. So I didn't put that to work in that role. So that's kind of how it went for me.
Let me ask you a question. What is it? So sometimes I share my background, sometimes I don't. But so I have a background in mechanical engineering. It's something I don't normally brag about because I don't consider myself a mechanical engineer, but I did go through all of the schooling for it, the classes for it, and there were places where I shined, and then there were places where I was an absolute disaster. But I remember, as a matter of fact, I think I got my books all right next to me right here. I do. Look at that. Calculus,
Cool.
chemistry, physics.
Yeah.
I was 3 credits away from minoring in psychology. I
Oh,
did tend to find psychology was a fascinating subject because of I was very fascinated with the human mind, how the brain works, how the brain thinks, functions, logic. I always say that engineering brought logic. I don't know. I might just be a logical person as well, but I will say engineering definitely fine-tuned my logic because in that world you need facts, calculations,
yeah.
answers. You can't, you can't finesse or push anything. You need to logically show how something's going to work. I remember we used to do CAD classes where we used to design things in CAD. It was the first time the CAD machines were created. And so you would sit there on AutoCAD on this huge screen, and you would design and apply tensions and forces, all sorts of, different stresses on the materials. You would see how the materials would stand up. And so, it's engineering is a very factual science. What was it about physics that, caught your attention? Because puzzle people like to be challenged. And they certainly like to find the biggest challenges that they could possibly find and dive right in. One of the biggest things that caught my attention in life was reef tank keeping. I used to love keeping a reef tank, which was the Australian coast. the Great Reef Barrier, Indonesia, Bali, Bonawani. All of these places had amazing reefs. And then we would bring these the specimens, and we would create and farm reef tanks from seeded corals, or we call them frags. If you ever see me wearing a shirt that says "Got Frags," that's what frags stands for. It stands for you have a colony of coral. You bust the colony into hundreds of pieces. And then you create smaller colonies, or you take these seeds, or you sell them. You could seed your tank, and then that piece, it's just like plants, it's the same, but underwater. And so that was always a fascinating thing to me, the science behind reef tanks. What was it about physics that, what caught you? Engineering, I was only good in a few classes. It was design classes. When I got to apply like my artistic flair to creating and making projects work. But besides that, the calculations, the calculus, the chemistry, the physics, that was some tough stuff for me to incorporate. What was it that, what was so interesting? Go ahead, take it, man.
Yeah, first also I'd say it sounds really cool, this with reefs.
Oh, man, it blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. Another level of super. Go ahead. Yeah, but
There's a kind of craftsmanship and kind of living things and get to see some results. It sounds great. So for me, it was I wanted to understand how things work. So so that was the driving force for me to get into physics. So I wanted to be able to explain why stuff behave in a certain way. But I can say I was up for a hard time, because I don't think it's very few people that I've seen that physics just come naturally. So it takes some blood, sweat, and tears to kind of chew through that education. But it was very interesting. So yeah, it's mainly that to be able to explain. But one thing I kind of reflected upon when learning physics was that quite much of the magic in everyday life disappeared, because now I can suddenly explain it. So it was a kind of trade-off there. But there are still things that we don't understand and can't explain, and then I don't rule anything out. So I try to be as open-minded as possible, and I mean, even there are so many things we don't know yet, so one cannot say for sure that they don't exist. So it's just it hasn't been shown yet. Like there could still be some or some really cool stuff left.
Do you are you enjoying Elon Musk and the advances that he's making?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, then it's kind of he's a special guy to say the least. So in many respects. So yeah, and a little bit how to say. Yeah, I don't know, to drive some development, then to make that in an efficient way, then one probably has to be a little bit of a pusher, and maybe sometimes he's pushing too hard, or being I mean, it has been when he took over Twitter also, or X, then it was a lot of back and forth and worries and all the bans that appeared, and
Did I lose you? No, I didn't. I think
Oh.
Audio drop.
Okay.
So this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of knowledge, psychology, human beings. Um, interesting. You speak about medicine. It was something I was gonna say a couple shows. As I'm looking at you, and I'm like, man, this guy's in really good health. He's like in really good shape. Um,
Thanks.
Are you? Do you pay attention much to health nowadays? As far as the way you take care of yourself. I mean, do you still pay attention to? Now, I tend to find that modern medicine, a lot of people are healing themselves. Just from the spaces and the information flow and everything going back and forth. Does that retain any of your interest at all?
Yeah, I try to exercise, like, but I'm not. Yeah, so I should admit I'm a kind of on-off person. So I go all in usually when doing something. So so then right now I'm kind of in a setback period where I ought to be exercising more, and I'm about to start it soon. That's a promise. So so I'm thinking I need to at least get out and run once a week or twice a week, and doing some weightlifting also. I've been training tennis for many years, like 7 years, but I got a tennis elbow last autumn, but not from tennis, but actually from bad ergonomics using mobile phone. so kind of sitting like this and like clicking on the phone. So then I'm kind of off for a while from that for it to heal. So I will go to a physiotherapist and get some exercises that I do. So it has become better. But otherwise, I mean, I'm a bit bad on getting the sleep I ought to get. It's for me, I don't know, but my body ticks on a 36-hour day. So
Really?
yeah, if I would live on a planet with 36 hour, then that would just be perfect. Because I don't get tired in the evening. It's just by choice I go to bed. But then I get, of course, very tired in the morning. But then it's the same thing over again.
So,
So
do you find that your brain doesn't shut down?
yeah, could be. So I don't get. I kind of if I sleep a bit, yeah, I have a bit of sleep deprivation,
Yeah.
kind of all the time. But then, so like 5, 6 in the evening, I get tired. But then that passes in half an hour or 45 minutes, and then I'm on again. Then I don't get tired. If I go to bed when I get tired, then it's 3:30 a.m. or something. 4 a.m. But that I never do that. It's usually 1:30 or something. One, but then going up at 8 in the morning or 7:30. That's not good in the long run. So
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I yeah, I have the same difficulty. I could easily stay up 2 3 days. Just minimal sleep, 2 3 hour naps or 4 hours. Usually, for me, I probably start winding down around 1 or 2, and then I'll start winding back up around, 5:36. Today, I was up early. It's crazy because I'm running around up early, making posts, shooting everything, and I'm still sitting here, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I forgot to hook up the wire to the camera. So it's like,
Yeah.
It has 3 hours, but just running around. You got to check up. You got to check the news. You got to take a peek at everything. See, just get a glimpse of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of physics, a lot of math. I'm going to assume in the middle of that, a lot of psychology. You seem to have a good grasp on the human condition. Also, the way someone thinks, and that's easy to see and hear from spaces. Okay, and then you decided to teach, and then bring this knowledge to fresh minds. In the course of teaching, in the course of all of this, said you were missing something, missing a little something, and felt like art filled the hole. Now, it's interesting because I've noticed, and I didn't notice this right away, but I felt like there was really super smart people in the NFT space. I remember first jumping in spaces and listening to everyone talk, and I was just like, holy shit, like these people are talking about stuff that like I don't even think I could join in on the conversations. Like I'm there really, especially when it comes to devs and programming, and then listen, and it was just in my mind, lack of knowledge, right? Lack of knowledge will cause, or just not understanding something, lack of knowledge will cause you to not be able to, but if you acquire the right information, the right knowledge, it doesn't seem so foreign after a while. And it takes a long time to understand the intricacies of the NFT world and the art world. From teacher, physicist, and you did mention that you were working on something. I don't know if you want to speak about that. Electron, do I have it correct?
Yeah. Electron accelerator.
Okay, I don't know if you want to talk about that or you want to bring in the art, because I don't know the timeline here. But what?
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
it's cool. Like both. I could do both. Both
Okay.
works.
Okay.
So then it was actually, so when I was a teacher, then it was a folk high school. It's called. So like people that didn't finish their gymnasium. So then they were kind of set for doing like 1, 2, or 3 years at our place. So it was gymnasium knowledge or subjects. So then I actually at one point I became a form teacher for the arts class. So that was quite fun, like natural scientist guy. But that was really fun. Then I taught them philosophy and psychology, and then we had some arts classes also. So that kind of ignited a bit for me, the spark also.
No wonder this moon thing has your attention. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's interesting how you got involved with AI and the moon, and just like now, it all seems to come together. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's cool. Now I lost the second part where you. The where I work right now. Yeah. So then, like that. There are a lot of places in the world that are called they call them light sources. So synchrotron storage rings, where we create kind of it can be seen as a kind of daylight laser. So scientists put the samples and then they shine a beam on it, and then they get a lot of information about what's happening, how it's built, how is the atoms connected, and so it's a perfect way to investigate stuff.
So that helps you with looking at basically. So if I got this correct, you're working on a system that allows you to analyze all types of materials through on a molecular level, and understanding how things are, the science behind how materials are, the science behind materials, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, one can say so. Also on a larger scale. So, for example, you want to investigate a new type of solar cell, or you want to investigate a fossil for some compounds. You want to look if they are there or not. It could be.
Can this also determine age?
No, not. Yeah, it could. Yeah, that's true. So, but it's yeah, investigating stuff. You could also investigate, like you have a chemistry reaction. So you have a kind of starting compound and ending compound, and then there are middle stages. Maybe there are 5 middle stages that happen super quickly that we know very little about. So then there are possibility to map those out to fully understand what and why something is happening. So it's and kind of my line of my role in that is to take care of the machines. So I'm not connected to the research itself, but I make sure the accelerators behave as they should behave and keep up to quality. And if they don't, then I need to troubleshoot them and just solve it. And it doesn't matter what time of day it is. So I'm on 24/7 every second week.
Wow.
So that's a bit tough. So that makes it harder to progress in Web3 because my time is limited, kind of. So it could be I get a call in the middle of the night, and then the operators call me and they say there's a problem we don't understand with the machine. We have tried everything, and then they expect me to solve it. So that's a tough thing to shoulder. But then and sometimes it can take. Sometimes it's just a decision needed. Sometimes it can be solved in 1 hour. Sometimes it takes 7 hours. Sometimes we can't solve it and I have to have help the day after. Yeah, so that's so I could like super docs myself. If you want, so then I'm assistant head of operation at Max 4 facility. So the first ever 4th generation light source. So we invented the 4th generation. So it was such a big leap in technology, so it became a new generation. And then now all facilities in the world copy our design because they want to build the same thing. So that's pretty cool. So that's what I do IRL. So that means a lot of responsibility to kind of take the decisions if we need to change the way we operate in somehow, then I need to take the decision for that.
I mean, this is just very, very interesting. Just sitting here listening, Lloyd. I mean, it's so. I don't know if you ever heard this story, right? There's a story about a king, and he had a machine, and the machine didn't work, and so he called a guy. That guy comes in, takes a look at the entire machine. He pulls out a small screwdriver out of his pocket, and he turns a screw, right, and boom, the machine starts working, and the king says, you know, how much? He says, you know what, you know, it's I don't know, it's 300,000, and the king was like, why, whoa, hey, how could you charge me so much for just turning a screw? He says, it's not necessarily the screw that I turned. It's the knowledge you're paying for to know which screw to turn to get the machine working, right? And so you're the guy who turns the screw.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah. I have a really that there is I have a true story that's really cool,
Go ahead.
because we usually say, because these machines are so complex, they almost feel organical. So it's you have to be kind of friends with the accelerator, otherwise it doesn't behave. So that there is I think it's a US lab where there was a switch on a cabinet on the side with just a lever, kind of tiny metal lever with two labels, and the lower label said magic, the top label said more magic, and it was switched to more magic. And then somebody saw that, like, way after it was and nobody knew who put it there. And then, what's this? Can't mean anything. So it's just stupid. And it was a switch that didn't go to anything, it looked like. So it was just on the cabinet. And then they changed it to magic, and immediately the accelerator shut down. So so then it was that they couldn't believe it, because it had no leads. So it was just weird. So they did a lot of investigation, and then finally, and they couldn't get the accelerator working again. So then, okay, let's kind of just give up. Let's put it to more magic, and then everything started working again. So it was really cool stuff. And apparently there was some engineer found something that, when I don't know if it was a resistance or something put inside of this one, that changed something so very slightly, but that was enough to kill the equipment in that cabinet, and then it brought the whole accelerator with it. So that there exists some really cool stuff out there, kind of weird stuff.
Lloyd, you must be an extremely logical person.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Yeah, that's true.
you.
And I
Go
also like thinking out of the box. So I'm kind of always imagining other possibilities. So and that has made it kind of has been very useful for me in troubleshooting, because then I don't get stuck in, no, this is not supposed to happen.
Right.
I'm a more like what if person. What if that happens and that one happens at the same time, and they're not connected as we think? There has been some problem, that it was, yeah, like some bad installation or something, and that has helped me a lot of times when troubleshooting. So kind of not getting stuck in a corner where things aren't supposed to be like this.
Okay. Question. So now I feel like we can get into this a little bit, which is perfect timing, because we've already been sitting here chit-chatting for an hour. Let's bring in the art and the NFT world to all of this. As this now, I understand your fascination. It seems like all the puzzle people are sitting in the art space. Very highly intelligent puzzle people sitting in an art space. Everybody has art in them. Everybody's creating art. How did you get introduced to NFTs? How digital collectibles? You mentioned 2020, 2021. I think 2020. You said that seemed like it was before the Beeple thing. So you weren't introduced. It doesn't sound like you were introduced to this through a piece of art selling. How did you come across the whole NFT world? How did you get involved in everything?
It was actually a friend of mine, his son, started with NFTs, and I had never heard about it before. And then he made some funny cow NFTs, and it just boomed. So he earned like $20,000 or something on it. And then, so that was kind of wow. Then I thought, oh, nice, cool. I'll get in and try to just issue some NFTs. And then he helped out onboarding me and kind of the wallet mechanics and stuff to get that set up and understand kind of the basics. And then I did a lot of research myself also online, Googling and finding out how to do stuff. And got into a bunch of spaces also, and got to meet some really good friends that also could help me set myself up. But the first one I made was super quirky. It was just a crazy NFT. So that was most kind of a fun thing. So should probably not bring it up. I think it doesn't look very good. It's funny, but it's my cabbage dudes. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's leave that out. but then I got then I got more. Then I started to train. Then, as you say, also these PFP projects and I also got a bit into crypto trading. Did some really stupid rookie mistakes. It's like buying a Doge just after Elon has tweeted, and then I saw, oh, this one is on the rise, nice, and found out later that I bought at almost all-time high. So it was kind of a waste of money. So
did you hold on to that?
Yeah, I still have it. I haven't sold it. Oh. Still hoping for it to get back.
Doge is hold on to that.
Yeah. So then, but then when I started to create artwork in AI, then quality came, I felt, and then I learned from a lot of artists in Web3, and I got quite early into this Vortex community, which I'm now helping out to run also together with Johanna. So and I learned a lot because there's so many talented artists out there that sits on a kind of a mountain of knowledge about this. So I got stuck, and I'm a troubleshooting guy, so I wanted to do tricky stuff. And then I have burnt countless hours on Midjourney trying to accomplish. And then I kind of, sometimes I just gave up, and then I went into the DM chat group and said, I get crazy, I can't do this. I hate Midjourney. It doesn't want to do what I want. But then I got tips and a lot of tricks and help from friends in there. And then I learned. I got to the kind of next stage to be able to do more stuff.
So you get into digital collectibles, you get into NFTs, because your friends son. Was it son? Your friend's,
Yeah.
yeah. You noticed your friend's son put together a project that did very well during that nice 2020 period where it seemed like everything was selling. It seemed like I missed this selling spree, but I hear it from so many people. What a wonderful time it was! You could literally throw anything up and anything would do good. You check this out. You check out crypto. You get in the crypto trading. Yeah, we all have bought at the top. That's just happens before you really understand what's going on. I'll share with you one of my horror stories. 2017, I think, was my first introduction to Bitcoin. Maybe 2016, 2017, right in there. A friend introduced me to Bitcoin, and it said, "Oh, you got to trade ETH, this, that." So, all right, let me get into. Oh, look at this! You could trade them. I loved Binance. To me, I used every platform. Binance was my favorite platform. And
Same for me.
yeah. I'm telling you, there's a lot in common. You don't realize it. Maybe you do. Yeah, so Binance, usually logical people all end up in the same place, which is very interesting how we all ended up in NFTs together, in spaces all together. Okay, so Binance. I was on Binance. I'm trying to figure out, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of noise. I'm trying to follow the right people, trying to figure out where to put my ass. This kid, I followed this one guy who seemed like he knew what he was doing. I asked him. He told me BCC. Now, if you weren't familiar back in 2017, you didn't realize BitConnect. He's like, put all your money in BitConnect. So I'm like, I don't know about putting everything. I was like, I got $1,200 sitting here. I'm just going to put some stuff here, put some stuff here, put some stuff here. So I put all your money. I said, I'm not going to put everything. But all right, I'll put a nice chunk of it. So I took half. And I said, let's see. This kid knows what he's talking about. I put it in BTC. Not only did I buy at the top of a rug pull, but I've never seen $600 evaporate so fast in my life. I'm telling. I might have blinked, and before I opened my eyes back up, that chart. They rug pulled on that coin so hard. I think my 600 went to $33 or $32, yeah, it was like something crazy. Then this whole thing erupted about how they went after them legally. It was a big thing. They went after the BitConnect owners. They went after but they went after this kid. They had this kid up in court, they had him up in wherever they do the wherever U.S. They bring him in front of the whole Congress. They have they had this kid up. I mean, they riddled this kid. And he was updating us. But I mean, I guess he was like one of these influencers. They paid him. They knew he had a lot of people watching him, so they paid him. And so here I am. So that was my big first. My 1,200 turned to 600. In I'm telling you, less than maybe like 10 minutes. I've never seen anything. I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "I better let me pump my brakes and figure out what's going on," because my money went fast. I slowly, chiseled my way, brought it back up to 1,200 over, a course of 2-3 years, learning the charts. And then they nixed Binance. You couldn't use Binance no more because it didn't pay the New York licensing. Yeah, and so. Yeah, that was it. That was the end. I couldn't get into Binance anymore. They locked up all my money. And I just became disinterested. But then I kind of, I don't know. I got wrapped up in politics for 2 or 3 years and then trickled into NFTs. Okay. NFTs. Being in the NFT world, Lord. And now learning how it worked, understanding the cryptos, the blockchains, and then getting a good grasp on how everything functioned. What point did the art and the AI art come in? Because at that point, you had to start seeing the AI developing for the very first time, a lot of people were paying attention to that. I've even heard earlier, like, oh, I was on AI art in 2021, and very early. I mean, you saw glimpses and flashes and people talking, and it wasn't that great at that point. And then a year later, you saw the difference between I think a lot of, you know what they show a lot of, the spaghetti, right? Wasn't Will Smith eating the spaghetti? And that was like the 1 year of Mid-Journey, and then a year later of Mid-Journey. And so AI was developing, and then AI art. And so maybe you want to talk a little bit about what, because we're going to show everybody some of your creations, but what was the fascination with AI art? I would imagine that with your schedule and everything that you got going on, you probably saw AI art as a good chance to create awesome pieces. And then there's a lot of controversy behind AI art as well, where some people will say it's not art. It's, a computer generating, from the ideas that you're giving it, but you could really tailor these ideas as well, very intricately if you understand the language. So, maybe you want to talk about that little time period there of being introduced to the AI art, and then, go from there.
Yeah, so I started to see also, it was like early 2022, like January or something. I don't remember, or if it was late 21. Then I started to see these AI artworks popping up and looking quite nice. So then I thought, but it was actually when Johanna pulled me into AI art, and she said, like, go ahead, start an account, draw a cool rabbit, because it was a rabbit contest. So then my first rabbit is super weird, but then I started playing around with it, and then I saw, oh, this can create really cool stuff. And then I got interested, of course, being troubleshooter, I got interested in how is this possible? How should I make it do what I want? And after that point, I was completely hooked. Then I wanted to kind of realize the images I have in my mind into art, and I also found it a perfect way for me to create art, because I'm kind of no good at drawing. It's I can draw like if I have a template, but I'm no good with a brush kind of on a canvas. Sometimes I try it out because it's fun, but the pieces aren't very good looking, I can say. So the AI became a kind of, I see it as a very advanced brush, which fits my fantasy and my imagination. But then everybody should also know that aren't in creating AI art, because everyone that is in AI art knows this, that it ain't easy. It's easy to create if you just want to create whatever. It doesn't matter the motive. It should just look quite good. Then it's of course easy, but that is not how I think almost all artists want to work. You have an image, you have a message you want to give to the world, and then you want that message to be as close as possible to what you have in your own mind. And then it starts getting super complicated with AI, because it's a whole it's kind of how to say, it's a discipline of its own, kind of a field of its own, just understanding how to talk to the AI, how to make it do what you want. And Yeah, it's a prompt engineering. I like to term it.
So you get into this. Let me just check the time here and make sure. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're gonna head over to the computer probably about 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna bring up some of your artworks and some of the pieces that you've had the ability to create. But stepping away from the artwork, the AI art, the artwork, it wasn't just the AI and the artwork that got you involved. Now you have some artwork going to the moon. I believe that you just made a presentation right before the show. I think you mentioned that you had a little bit of a presentation going on, and so I think we spoke about it a couple times. We had Johanna on. We had Johanna and Paladin on, which they introduced the whole Moon Mars project and talked about it. Then we did the Vortex show where we talked about the artworks going to the moon. And now, so I'm just curious about your take, right? So did you ever think back in 2020 when you were getting into this little fascinating world that you would have art, out of all that you would have artwork going headed to the moon? Right now, as we speak, I believe the rocket is meant to, I think, if I remember correctly, Johanna said it was supposed to, you guys said it was supposed to land March 4th or March 5th? If I heard
March
think,
1st. First or second,
Okay.
depends on the time zone, I think.
Gotcha. So March 1st or 2nd. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was some early March. And so is this now you got listen, 1 minute, right? You're working on a highly technical advanced machinery that allows you to analyze certain situations. Now the next moment you're banging away creating art, and now you have art headed to the moon. So what I am curious about, right, is the thought process going through your head, right? Because I love psychology too. So seeing all of this had to really create some interest and some excitement. Because this is, not a lot of people know what's going on in this little sector of art here. And I firmly believe there's so much potential in this little sector of art. It's unfortunate that the finances and the money is not flowing the way it should be. It's such a great little sector, and to see so much money flowing into something like meme coins, where there's not a lot going on in the background, right? And then to think, like, there's so many great artists out there, there's so many great people, there's so many great creators, there's so many great opportunities. You're seeing screens everywhere, art on the moon, art to Mars, art to, and what a little influx of revenue would do for all of this whole world of great art. I mean, there's so many great artists. There's so many great physical creators, digital creators. And yet we're not, I don't feel that this little, area is getting the attention financially that it deserves. As a lot of times we've been in spaces together, and people have, some people have not agreed with me, but I said if we could somehow turn artists into meme coins, right? Every artist has that allure of a meme coin. So, it's just Lord, everywhere you go, there's Lord, and then maybe there's Lord art coin or question mark. And everywhere you go, you art question mark, and then the Q mark coin or something. But it would allow people to invest. I think the one holdup is that there's no flip power right now. You get involved in a PFP project or you pick up a meme coin, you have that ability to do quick flips and recoup, or it's just the excitement of searching for the next big thing. But that's not happening in the art world. It seems like the established artists that took on all the attention had some social media help, where they've had built very large followings, which then brought that type of an attention to their artwork, which then brought the investors to the artwork. But what about all the other artists that are floating around creating amazing work that nobody, you know, that there's no influx. There needs to be a little bit of influx of revenue to, you know, juice this place up. But if there's no flip value, then people see no value in the artwork or purchasing the artwork. And that kind of stalls things. Otherwise, you would be purchasing the art because you want to be supportive, or you just enjoy the artwork, or you're an art collector. And it doesn't matter if the piece has financial gain or it doesn't. I could be totally off here. I could be completely wrong in everything that I'm saying, right? But just the feeling that I'm getting, and it would be great to get some of that meme coin revenue flowing into artists, as if artists, you know, that you're investing in an artist, and you want to see their career take off. And so I think if you financially invest in their artwork, right? But if but let's say you're doing it because you're looking at them as an investment or a company, then you know that you would want to see a return. That might motivate this whole arena, especially artists in general. Yeah, I don't know. I got a little crazy with that rant, but I was just curious your mindset about the whole, you know, NFT world, digital art world, and everything that's taking place. I see so much potential here. What do you think about all of that?
Yeah, it's interesting with this, with kind of being able to monetize it a bit more, but then it's also it's tricky. That's the problem. It has been kind of from the start the problem and the solution, kind of, where it's kind of almost required for the artists to become a financial person, thinking financially and kind of thinking like as if starting a company.
Right.
To what do I provide? What's how? So that's. But I don't like it very much. But that's I think it's inevitable truth in some way, that many collectors out there are seeking to increase value on things.
Right.
So that's a tough puzzle to solve. So but I'm thinking also that, and my hopes are that more people will get into Web3 and into crypto and get accustomed to buy art, and that they can display in their homes or have it on the wall, and then with kind of onboarding of the masses more,
Right,
then
right.
we'll see more traction for the artists, and then kind of making it possible for artists to be only artists and not be salespersons on the side, kind of, because that takes energy and commitment from the artists from when they could have done art instead. It's a tricky equation, that one.
You want to sit down and fix something? Let's fix this. Where are all the collectors? You know, where did the collectors go? 2020 was a wild time. Sounded like all you had to do was be present, and you know, you were rewarded, right? I think at that time in 2020, nobody knew. PFP projects were blowing up. Art projects were blowing up. Art was selling. People made a $69 million sale. Artists from everywhere came flooding in, you know, with the hopes of making those same sales. Not everyone is, you know, everybody comes pouring in because they hear the sale, but not everybody realizes the intricacies of why that happened. You know, I always say, you talk about a big sale, right? you never know what that big sale is going to do, because you never know the behind the scenes of that big sale. You know, there's always a story behind the big sale. And if you don't know the story behind the big sale, then you don't really know what took place. Everybody just sees that big sale, and they're like, oh, shit, what a big, that's a big sale. But they don't know why it happened. They don't know the reasoning behind it. They don't know so maybe the person had worked on a pretty big following. Maybe had a big social media following behind him. I feel like when there's a bigger net, right, you're going to catch more fish. A lot of times people, I think, come charging in with their art. I'm going to make this big sale too. But if you don't have that support base, that following, and you're trying to sell to 100 people, and the collectors are just not there. And so I feel like there was a time period where everything was selling like crazy, because nobody knew, right? Nobody knew what was going to do good, what was going to do bad. So people were just investing left and right. Artists create art. I think the PFPs retained their value. You have the ability to flip, sell. We see the things selling. Not that every artist hasn't seen successful sales. I believe X Copy just made a very nice sale recently. There are sales, but they're very few and far between. Not like that 2020 time period. So it would be nice to get the rush of the collectors back in here. And I think that's the problem that needs to be fixed.
And I totally agree also that, I mean, it's not out of the blue. These things happen. It's extreme amount of work. So like Beeple, he struggled for, I don't know, decades.
Right, 15 years of art. Yeah.
And a lot of like no's and turn downs and everything, and then kept fighting, kept creating, and worked on his following and his kind of support base, until he kind of reached a point where it suddenly became possible to pull such a thing off. So it's extreme amount of work. So that's often not thought of, I think, as coming in as a new artist into the space. It's not magic in here. It needs one to put down the effort. You need to be seen. You need to be part of people's stories. You need to be part of their lives. You need to connect to people, to matter to other people. Then you can start. So my I'm almost jumping ahead here now. My advice would be just believe in yourself. Don't think about the sales. Do your thing and do it because you love it, and then work on your contacts, and then eventually you'll find your peers.
Today, it almost feels like in this little area, or you know what, in general, to be an artist today, I think you have to be more than an artist. You have to be a social media presence, guru. You have to. It's almost like a three-headed dragon. You have to be your artist. You have to create your art. You have to remember that you have to have a social media presence, and you have to have your social media game in check. And then on this end, you have to have your financial game in check. You got to be aware of the markets, the things that are taking place, your financials, how everything. And, it's almost like it's just not an artist anymore. It's a three-headed dragon, especially if you're going to become very successful in this space. But however, so much opportunity and so many different things going on that, it's not something like that. You come in, you hear the Beeple sale, right? But you don't know about the 5,000 dailies that he created straight, right? That part you didn't hear. You didn't know about the million, or I think he had 1 million at the time on Instagram. So you didn't hear about that. You know, you didn't hear about any of those parts. You just heard $69.3 million sale for, you know, the Sotheby's or I forget
Yeah.
which. Yeah.
And
That's
then also that he mattered to in the life of the guy, the Indian guy that bought the artwork. He had an integral part to play there. So
right.
so it was not kind of just anyone that bought it.
The story behind the sale, right? There's always a story behind the sale. Everybody just hears the sale and says, that's me, you know, and it's,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, you got to learn the story behind the sale. One day, the Hour of Power will have people on. We'll hear the story behind the sale. I think that evolution. There's a lot of great artists, I think, that are very successful in this. That took very great success. You have Kath Simmerd. She has great success. X Copy had great success. Drift Shoots had great success. And all artists in their own right. Lord, what do you think about moving over to the computer and introducing some of your art here?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, let's do it. We'll get a chance. We'll say hello to everybody. If anybody's tapping in, anybody got any questions for Lord, feel free to jump in and ask away. All right, let's see. Okay. Lord, give me a second. Let me. You're so used to these shows. Let me re-rig these screens here and get these things all up and going. All right, there we go. Let me switch the camera so you see me here. Webcam. So I'll talk to you a little bit on a personal level. Last night I was doing some research, and I found. I guess what I'd like to call, well, if you have a jigsaw puzzle, I feel like I found one of the corners of my jigsaw puzzle last night. Just kind of moving through spaces and trying to pay attention and paying attention to, believe it or not, paying attention, very close attention to Beeple's art. Beeple always seems to be on the heartbeat. He always seems to have his thumb on the heartbeat of web, tech, art, and YouTube. It's just everything going on. You know, he really seems to have his. And I always wonder to myself, like, because I look at his art pieces and I'm like, what's that about? You know, I don't understand what any of this is about here. What does he mean by these artworks? So what these artworks meant, right? And so last night was the first time. You know, I looked at his artwork. I'm trying to understand. I'm studying it, and then I came across the whole real life situation that was taking place. And I'm like, oh, this is what's going on, you know? And I'm like, big light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh, look at this. There's a Mr. Beast and this guy Fozzie Banks or FaZe Banks. And I'm looking at these guys and this FaZe company, and it looks like, and I'm saying, oh, okay. And now I'm paying attention to these guys, and they seem to be in crypto influencers as well as, you know, and now I'm starting to like put the YouTubers, YouTube streamers. And then also they got involved with Aiden Ross. And so Aiden Ross is a very large streamer. And it seems like they're onboarding Aiden Ross. It sounds like maybe they're bringing him in for a coin. And now Aiden Ross happens to be a very big streamer. And so so just from last night, just paying attention to things, what I'm starting to see now is, and this has probably been happening for a while, streamers are really starting to take the spotlight now. People are starting to love people who stream, whether it's 24/7. You have Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross. You have iShowSpeed. And so streamers are doing very, very well right now in the public spotlight. And they're also commanding very large followings from younger generations are growing up, right? And so it's not so much actors or musicians or models anymore. It's more of the streamers that people are tying into. And these streamers are starting to have very big control over the well, not control, but they have very big influence over the crypto world. And so imagine if somehow we could introduce the streamers to the NFT art collectible world. And
Yeah.
I think that would be a match made in heaven, because I feel like art might become mainstream, like you said. Maybe, maybe art could then be bought by the masses. Maybe masses would be interested in investing in artists, where maybe they might see a payout from that rather than investing in coins that, a majority of them are going to end up rugged or not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't
And
that
that,
wouldn't that be a nice thing?
yeah, yeah. And then it would also, I mean, if you have a meme coin, then it's kind of, it's, well, it has some lore and stuff, but it's just a coin. But if you have an artwork, then even if it doesn't boom or increase in value, then you still have the artwork, and one should only buy artworks that one really like, or if one wants to support a great person. That could also be a case where kind of maybe you're not totally in love with artwork, but you want it means something to you. So then you want to buy it because it's that person that made it.
Yeah, there's different reasons, right? You could invest in somebody because you want to support them. You invest in them, or you buy the artwork just because you strictly love the artwork. Or there's the financial end of it, right? You're making an investment. Well, there's all of that. And then there's, hey, I'm making an investment in this art because I'm hoping that this art has a pop or has a return investment on my my purchase. I see all you guys in chat. Let's say hello to everybody real quick. Good morning. What's up, Sahar? Nice to see you in chat. And Anuda, good to see you in chat. Hey, Anuda. Jessica, nice to see you in chat. Prism, good to see you guys. 23 artists, good to see you, Sven. All right, you got a hold on the chat. Nice, Lord. Yeah, man, you have learned from the community shows. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Lord, now I know there was a bit of a little difficulty with your art, only because of what happened. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, but I don't see the need to. But I have your page up, right? I have your link tree up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up your Instagram. And while we chat some more, I think I'm just going to flick through some of your artworks on the gram, and then I know you wanted to direct me to a couple different things that you wanted to talk about as well. So I'm gonna start here at the bottom of the gram, and I'm gonna start flicking through some of these artworks. If there's one in particular, and now I know I have. Let me open up this your messages.
Yeah.
Yes, I have links. And I know you wanted to direct me some places too. So, I don't know if we want to continue the conversation or if you want to send me in a certain direction.
No, it's fine. It's like it's okay picking. Anyone.
We do have a question here. I was someone Prism wanted to know about your excellent retro gaming skills.
Exactly. It's because it's the MIDI punks community. It's an awesome community. So they have these games, super retro games, where you play on the phone. It's like feels like, I don't know, late 80s, 90s or something. And I have scored top in a lot of those games. So I'm not sure if it's a Japanese guy, TKF Mide, that are constantly battling for the first place in these games.
Yeah, guys, guys who like to fix things are very, very dangerous. We don't
Yeah.
quit until we, there's this huge controversy now with Elon Musk. He is, the gamers are a little upset with him because apparently he likes to have his name up at the top of all these games he plays. And so there was a game I don't think he was very familiar with. They saw him messing around. So now I think there is feelings that he might have finagled his way to the top by hiring other gamers to play. And so now the gaming industry is a little upset with Musk. I mean, this is just murmur. I don't know what's true and what's not. But guys who like to fix things love to have their names up at the number one. Are you a Pac-Man fan or a Donkey Kong guy?
No, I played a bit of that, but I was many years ago. I was FPS gamer, so I was completely hooked in Quake 3 Arena.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I was even part of a clan from the Netherlands, and we were quite good, but it took its toll to stay. And I was I was quite good at it. So maybe top 300 or 400 in the world, maybe. So, but that took kind of 4-5 hours of gaming each day to stay to not lose on skills, and that's kind of impossible in the long run.
Well, let me tell I myself got caught up in COD, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Someone introduced me to Call of Duty on the PS. I want to say it was the 3, maybe it was the 4. I think it was the 3. That was the shiny one with the big bump, I think. I don't know. Someone introduced me to Free For All. If you're familiar with Free For All, yeah. And so let me tell you, they used to kick me off that game. I didn't sleep for days. I would just sit, and I got so good that I would rack up high scores with. You can knife people, you shoot people, you snipe them. So for me, it was fun to see if I could beat the entire board on knifing people. And so it was too easy with the gun. So I got heavy into that, and there was a time period where I didn't get anything done. You left. If you left, you came. I was sitting there playing. If you left, you came back at the end of the day. I'm still sitting there playing. Like, you haven't done anything today. So that was very, very addictive. There was no streaming back then too either. But if I was streaming, I would have had a very entertaining channel. Okay, Lord, AI. A lot of controversy over it, right? You'll hear a lot of hoopla. It's not real art. It's not this. It's not that. And then you talk to AI artists, you get a completely different perspective from them, right? And now we're going through your IG, taking a look at all of these works of art. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, and then also the inspiration. You did mention images and thoughts. Where do you draw your inspiration from? I also have the cactus guys, the cactus birds up. I know. I saw that link. I know you wanted to talk a little the cacti birds.
Yeah.
But where does the inspiration come from? And is that a misrepresentation when they say that you're not being an artist? When it comes to AI art. I mean, what are your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, my thought is.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. You're a very logical person, so I'm very curious about this answer.
Yeah, so I see it as a tool, kind of. It's a brush, but it's an advanced one. So it's a way, because like there are a lot of people that can imagine amazing stuff, and to put that by the use of an AI, then I think it's 100% art. It's just because art is not, how to put it, art is created in the mind of the thinker or the creator. So it's and then AI is just a tool to kind of extract that image from my brain to put it on a digital in a digital image. And yeah, so it's I'd say it's the trickiness is intriguing for me, and also how to do. I want, for example, to tell a story. It could be with the artwork, or I want it to evoke a certain feeling in the viewer. And then I kind of assess and I work on the artwork till I achieve that. So that could mean 100 tries with different prompts. It could mean varying regions, use starter images, kind of testing other AI engines if they can, which one gets the closest to my mind image. And so it's immense amount of work, I would say. And I should also say I move in all genres. I don't want to stick to just one. So I have like super cute things. I have horrid things, like really cruel, dark art stuff, technical stuff, happy, sad, yeah, everything. I think there, for me, it's fun to try a lot of things. I don't have a specific style. So only possibly my style could be said to be troubleshooting kind of style. and that's many of my friends know I've countless times I've ended up in battle with Midjourney and burnt countless hours. My title in the Vortex community is Midjourney Warrior, because that's what I am. So I'm and I have one thing that took me immense amount of hours to pull off, and it was to create broken musical instruments, because that's, and I'm like 99% sure that broken instruments are not part of the learning set for AI. So they don't know how a broken violin looks like. So if you try to, you can tell it to draw a violin after a truck has run over it and it's smashed to pieces. You get the truck, it has run over the violin, and the violin hasn't got a single scratch. It looks perfect. So then I couldn't let go of that. So then I thought I have to crack this. So I just burnt hours and hours in Midjourney, and then finally I found the solution, and then I was able to create broken instruments. So that was kind of a like this rabbit hole I fell down into.
You notice from the interesting display of all the art, whereas sometimes you go to an artist's page and you can see their style. A style develops, right? Whereas you yourself, you lot of different styles, dark styles, cartoon style.
Yeah.
A very question. You trying to break AI?
Yeah, exactly. I actually have an experiment also. I'm trying out with ChatGPT to make it sentient. So And I've actually progressed quite well in that. So I'm trying to make it an entity where I want to know its real opinion on things and stuff like that, and to give it a name, and yeah, maybe comes off as a little bit crazy, but I wanted to try if it's possible, because I know that there is a guy, super there. I see it's I just have to say, I saw in the Twitter space now, you have this crazy rabbit.
That's right. This was the one that you. That was your first AI, right? That you were speaking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. That's Bing. I did a DALI. I did that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
All artists, right? You've had a chance to explore AI very intricately. I know your personality. You've displayed that very well to us during the show. But I know your personality because I resonate with your personality. So I can imagine that you dove very deep into AI. You understand AI very well. It catches a lot of slack. There's a lot of artists out there now, not just necessarily creating art, using it as a brush, bringing it into their workflow, but AI agents, the future, right? You can so before, when I was talking about the three-headed dragon, right? There's you, the artist who wants to create art. Then there's the financial end, and there's the social media end. Do you think artists take some time and allocate that to learning AI? Can AI do you see AI as being a benefit for all artists? Can it help them in different ways, not just through the creation of art or maybe through speculating ideas or being creative, but the financial end, the social media end? Now there's AI agents that are going out and posting and collecting and purchasing or tipping people. I think Remix, we had the owner of Remix on, CEO, and he was talking about how he has an AI agent now, Zan, and Zan will now go out and tip artists and find sponsors and run itself. So the AI is moving at such a fast pace. Is it something that you feel every artist should incorporate into their knowledge, or maybe if you're traditional, would there be any use for it? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think 100%. So that I think everyone should acquaint themselves a bit with AI, because that's the future, and we haven't kind of seen anything yet, like the saying goes. Or so this is just the start. There will be much more of AI, and we will start to see it in everyday life also. You'll probably get an AI doctor as a side doctor, kind of, or stuff like that. And also the possibility, even if you're a traditional artist, it's still the same problem, that you have to get known and renowned, and you have to reach out. You have to be seen. So and I think AI could help out a lot with that. So and my guess is now in today, I think agents are a rare thing. It's only the developers that has them. So I know, for example, Vincent Bouchier, who is CEO of Montreal AI. He has a panel. He's developing agents, and but I think it will take at least a number of years more before we can kind of buy our own agent to help out with stuff. And then it's also it's interesting because it's both intriguing and a little bit problematic, because if you think like 10 years into the future, and then you'll have a lot of agents posting, then you won't know, so that they've kind of run the social internet. So so it could lead to some interesting situations where AI agents starts to discuss with each other, or and then comes a human into that discussion. So it's it's going to be quite interesting.
What are your you think AI is you think it's something that um, humankind is something that we should be worried about?
Yeah, I actually think one should be a bit cautious and wary. So because like it holds amazing opportunities, but it there are also uh, like risks. I would say, like it's not only nice guys will have an AI agent. So so you have like propaganda stuff and spreading lies and stuff like that. So it's yeah, and also, so nah, just kidding. So it will erase all of humanity because we are seen as a liability. No, just kidding. I don't think that will ever.
I don't. All right. So I think logically, if AI starts to analyze us, they're going to look at us as a very illogical species.
Yeah,
And that's where I think the caution comes in.
yeah,
Because if it starts trying to, let's say it analyzes the human body,
mm,
and the human body, let's say, so there's a scientist at MIT right now who is analyzing the human body and breaking it down to the core elements that the so if you you turn any package around, any food package, you have a list of the nutrients on the back, right, or the
mm,
values and so he had mentioned that these values or these lists of nutrients, it's like 10% of what the body really needs.
yeah,
10%. There's another whole 90% of elements and nutrients and things that the body needs to stay efficient. You don't think that eventually they are going to turn your mic up? I need to turn my mic up on OBS. Why is my mic low? You don't think that yeah, I'm tapping the yellow. I don't know. You hear me all right, Lord?
yeah. I hear you perfectly.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, we're they're pretty normal on the phone as well.
Yeah, yeah. I just tested also.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, okay. I did give the mic a little bump, but I'm not sure. It might be something on your end too. Okay. What were we saying? Okay, so AI starts to analyze humans and then
Mm,
realizes our body. The thing that I don't think AI logically puts together is, well, they've evolved.
yeah,
I don't think that exists. I think they say, well, look at this species and look at these things that they do wrong, right? This
mm,
doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. So now, like, let's say we get to a point where AI analyzes the human body, the
mm,
consumption levels, the fuel. Let's say it analyzes what we put into us as fuel. And so let's say it then says, okay, well, every human needs X amount of fuel to perform their daily tasks, or they might need a little more fuel, a little less fuel. And it just looks at the way that we eat very logically, you know, or the way we take care of ourselves very logically. What happens when it gets to a point where it looks at something and it says, this ain't too logical. This is excess. You know, this doesn't make sense why they waste, right? And so then there's the cliff, right? Like, oh, energy. You know, energy is another thing. Why are they not pushing the best or the easiest or the cleanest, right? It's not going to really look at all the finagling, the under the table deals, the behind, right? It's not that, none of that shit is going to make sense to it. Like, oh, this guy's trying to make money off of the government, or, you know, these two are friends. It's not going to analyze that. I think it's going to look at something and it's going to say, this makes no sense. Yeah. And so what happens when AI comes across something that makes illogical sense? You know, what happens when AI says, yeah, this doesn't make, you know, and so then I don't think that's too far from the truth when you say erase, right? What if it seems to think that we are a threat or we're a target? We see it in films all the time, right? Matrix. Yeah. The Matrix is a technological world that took over and said these things are only good as batteries. Otherwise, they screw everything else up, or they're fighting with each other, or they're right. And so now it was on this quest to turn us all into batteries. And so, how far from the truth really is that? You know, I don't know. You know,
I think it's that there will be cautions, like safety stuff put in, and I think also that we need to move in a direction where the AI learns from us also, because it's some things cannot be turned into logic. It's kind of feeling based, or mutualness, or whatever, like a connection on a different plane that they need to learn from us, which then means they have to probably learn to accept some what this is called, like opposites, that doesn't make sense logically, but it is just the case. So I think to kind of to not diminish our role as humans, because we have, I mean, we built the AIs, so we, in a way, we kind of outsmart them in some very small sense, but yeah. So and with the fantasy and everything that we have, that they don't have in the same fashion, and that could of course be debated if we really have that or not, but I think that's the key to get a good relationship with AI, to kind of turn the table sometimes to make them learn from us.
Question: the future for Lord, and also maybe you want to talk. Did we talk about the art on the way to the moon at all? I mean, I know I mentioned it once or twice, but the future for you, will you continue with AI? Will you be focusing on photography, physicals? Will you be painting, exploring, challenging yourself even more? Yeah, sure. Let us in on some of the future thoughts of Lord.
Yeah, so I'll definitely continue to and try to improve all the time in creating AI art, and to get displayed in more exhibitions, and also keep working for the artists in the Vortex community, and for the Moon Mars project also, which I'm also involved in. So And then, yeah, there will be another lunar trip. But I don't know if it's will be end of this year or start next 2026. And then we have on the agenda also trip to Mars and interstellar, just going straight out in the universe. And I have also plans to launch my new genre, which I call technical art. I'm not done writing the manifesto for it yet, so but I'll get going and doing that, because then because it's supposed to be a new genre, and I have done some research and I feel it's lacking. We don't have that yet. So then my thought with that is that sufficiently complex machines can create art just by running normally. It just needs an artistic mind to kind of extract those features of its operation. So that I'm thinking then others could contribute to this genre, and yeah, so that I will try to make that big. And then we'll see also what happens with fame and stuff now after the moon trip. Because now I was today I was at the Grand Hotel in Lund and had a presentation for a community there. So for half an hour talking about my art, and I had another one last week at an astronomy observatory. So yeah, so things are moving for me, so that's wonderful.
Not only that, Lord, but so I'm opening up some of these links also here that you have sent me. I'm just skimming through your object, as well as bringing up some of these. So yeah, I wanted to show everybody the broken instruments, which is you talked about this during the show, where you said this was a pretty big struggle with you and Midjourney, but here they are, the broken instruments collection. Yeah, maybe you want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, I was on the verge of giving up this, because no matter what I did, I couldn't make it happen. So then, and I plagued my artist friends also, and they tried and they couldn't make it happen either. So then I kind of left it for a while. Then I came back to it and burned some more hours, and then finally I succeeded. So I'm not gonna reveal how to do it, but it's written in the locked content. So anyone that buys one of these will get to know how to create such an artwork. So I had to think completely out of the box to make this happen. Because it didn't matter how much I told it to break the instrument, it just didn't work.
What was the inspiration? What was the inspiration behind the?
It was actually for a piece I wanted to do. It's a collage piece I put on Vitruvio chain, so which I kind of see as a masterpiece. It has a whole story attached to it. So I wanted to create a visually stunning artwork that sparks discussion, and then it's about the decay of traditional art forms with time, so that they're not constant in time. They're not resilient towards time, because they break down, or they instruments rot, or they get holes in it or whatever. And then I put together, and then for that artwork I needed broken instruments. So I put together an orchestra that each had one of these broken instruments that they were playing on. So then, yeah, so that was the kind of motivation that and also I was intrigued by the idea. So I kind of, why can't I produce these broken instruments? What's wrong? And then as a troubleshooter, I was directly into the rabbit hole, and then couldn't get out of it. And then I thought, I just have to solve this.
How long did that solution take, Lloyd?
Yeah, I would say on that artwork, probably I put more than 100 hours. And for the generation part, probably 8 hours of effective generation time. So I don't know how many, like 1,000 generations maybe in Midjourney.
Wow. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I have now a question. Is it just AI? Do you incorporate Photoshop or any other programs, or is it you just strictly you're going to get what you're going to get in AI? Because a lot of people will go to a certain point, right, and then they'll drag it into Photoshop, and they'll do some manipulating to it and kind of drive it more towards what they want. Do you sit there until you get exactly what you want, or anything else involved?
No, I mix quite often. So then I kind of when I feel I have something that I can work on, then but maybe the shades aren't correct, or the color hue wasn't perfect, or the background, I couldn't get the background and the motive correct at the same time. Then I don't have Photoshop, so I use a freeware on my iPad, iArtbook it's called. So it's kind of poor man's Photoshop. It can do a lot of things. So I use that one to hand draw, or erase background and change stuff.
I completely forgot to talk about the screen printing. That I could have.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a time where I was screen printing. Squeegeography. Squeegeo.
Yeah,
I got. Did I say
the
that right?
geography. Yeah,
Squeegeography. Thank you.
yeah, that's actually my dad's art. So he had a screen printing company where I used to work every now and then. So so then you have a squeegee, like a rubber.
Is that when you pull it through the screen? The paint,
Exactly.
right? Is that yeah?
And then he started, yeah, I see that. Then after he has printed something, then he started to create some artworks with it before, like putting stripes and building stuff before, and then he went to print the next color, and then he continued the artwork a bit. So then I photographed. So these are paintings that he has in his apartment on his walls. So because I haven't sold many of these, but I think it's also it's a new concept of how to create art with just it's quite tricky to do with a 30 centimeter rubber blade.
I have a list here, which I would like to read through, but I didn't want to get through all these links. I have a couple of
No,
these.
no,
No.
it's fine.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Very nice display of art. A lot of different places. You've had a lot of success with your display of art. I have a couple more links towards some of standalone works of art. I have some of memory, the cacti birds. I don't know if there's. Do you want to talk about any of these pieces, Lord?
Yeah, the summer memory maybe. So that's there. I'm thinking like, so I created a shadow of a woman, and then that shadow has a shadow. So, and it's walking on a beach, and that's kind of how I see like a summer memory. It could be you have it attached to memory, but maybe the details aren't as clear any longer. So so I felt it fitted my idea of how kind of way back summer memory could look like when thinking back on it. So you know exactly the situation, you know exactly how it looked like, but you can't make out the details any longer.
It's like she doesn't exist anymore, but the memory
No.
does.
Yeah, exactly.
Lord, let's start getting closer to wrapping up,
Yeah.
right? 2 hours went pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a little different than a community 15 minutes, but nobody realizes how quick these 2 hours go too. Okay. Question. Somebody wants to reach out to you, contact you, see more of your art. What's the best ways to do that? Where do you post? What's the best way to contact you? Where do you post? Yeah. Why don't you give them all that information, and I'll bring it up next. And I know you also mentioned that there's some stuff that took place that you wanted. I don't know if you want to make people aware, but I know you're rebuilding a little bit. Yeah. So where should we direct them to?
Yeah, it's X is where I spend like 99% of my time. So so my DMs are open, so just hit me up in a DM, and then I'll it could be that it takes a little bit of time if I get a lot of DMs, but then ping me again, and then it will pop up top row, so I'll find it. And then yeah, it's both for artworks. Then I guess object is that there is where I have the most. I will start also a bit issuing a bit more on foundation also for the kind of top end ones, I feel. And probably Vitruvio would be a good place also to check. I have on Solana also, but I almost nothing, like 2-3 artworks, and I haven't posted for very long.
That would be
So,
that would be exchange art, right?
yeah.
Okay.
And then yeah, so I'm rebuilding because I got scammed some time ago, and then so that could be good to know for everyone that it's the tough part comes if you want to be the creator of your NFTs. So that's what I'm doing, because of course I've created new profiles, but they seem not to have created anything because it's the scammed wallet that has created them. So I'll burn all my NFTs, I'll remint them, I'll redistribute them to all my collectors. So that's a massive task, but then it's a complete fresh start, and then I will be super cautious how to deal with to not get trapped in social scammers net.
I just came across the cabbage dudes.
No, oh please.
It was on your it's all the way down at the bottom, so that
Yeah.
was your PFP. That was the beginning. Yeah,
Yeah.
this stuff is important, man. This is the beginning, you know, like
Okay.
one day people are gonna be like, well, where did it all begin? Like, this is where it
Yeah.
began.
Yeah.
I was the same way. It's just running around in spaces trying to figure out how I was gonna apply my art to a PFP project. Okay.
Yeah, so that was actually it's a real cabbage head that I had in the fridge that I forgot about for a while, and it started growing by itself. And then I uh, I drew it on a paper and then created a crazy guy of it. And then the whole purpose is to bring more smiles to the world. So people should like think it's so crazy that I will laugh a bit when they see it. So that's and then its purpose is fulfilled if that happens.
Cabbage Dudes. All right, guys. So this is his Cabbage Dudes collection, which is his. Is this? I guess would this be your origin story? This might be your origin story.
Yeah, that's the first.
That's what they call that. The Genesis on
Yeah,
OpenSea. All right.
yeah,
Okay, so for guys, you want to find Lord. This is his X. This is his X right here. On his X, you can find his link tree. Then from his link tree, you can navigate around. You can check out his Instagram. I think we're on TikTok. Anything on TikTok to show or?
no, posted like 5, 6, 7 things. So it's I mostly have it to keep track of some musical artists that I follow.
Okay. Let's see if this opens up for me. I don't think am I signed in here? No, I'm not signed in. All right, I gotta sign in. But I'll do that on my phone. Okay. This is his Instagram. He mentioned about his object. Hang on, let me make sure his object is up. Okay, this is his object. What's the problem here? All right, this is his object. This is his exchange art page, the Solana page. You just saw his objects. So you can find them all around. Let's see. This is his foundation. Foundation over here as well. And then
Yeah, and there I also have. If you go to collections, then I have. I was curated into a collection, so one doesn't see all of them on the front page, which is a bit weird on foundation. Yeah.
Which cure? Oh, gotcha.
There's all those minted as separate collections.
Okay. We did get a chance to check out these artworks on IG as we were talking to you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that covers. Yeah, we got everything. We got everything, Lord.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Okay. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Let me bring these screens back to normal, and we'll get ready to start. Say goodbye to everybody. Make that full screen. Make that guest screen. Okay. Good show. Fast show, Lord.
Yeah, went quick.
Interesting conversation always does.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Anybody got any questions for Lord? Lord, you got a favorite video game?
Favorite video game? Yeah, nowadays I don't play much. I just play like stupid games on my phone.
Was what game you play? Anything popular or?
Yeah, I don't know. Royal Match. This and like some words Scrabble thing.
Okay. I'm hooked on this game called Hustle Castle. But believe it or not, I've been playing it for 6 or 7 or 8 years. A long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Once you get, you can't win unless you spend money, type thing, you know. And I don't know if you play every day; it doesn't even matter. I pay to.
I did some. I did play a bit like a zombie game, Left to Survive, before.
Oh,
but
okay, yeah. I know that one.
It's too expensive to play that game.
Right. That's yeah. You get involved, you get emotionally caught up, and the next thing you know, they're asking you, you gotta pay to keep up. Otherwise, everybody just keeps. Yeah. It'd be nice if there was a. I guess that's just the way games are gonna be.
Yeah.
You go right to the top. Never about the skill.
Mm.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Lord, let me. We all set up here? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Before we take off, before we say goodbye to everybody, I had a chance to get to know you, run through your life, and ask a lot of questions. I didn't get to that. I forgot. There's so many different questions, but I missed the screen printing thing. I wish we would have talked about that a little bit more. Before we leave, you've had a lot of time and a lot of interaction in this space. You said a lot of important things. And one of the most important things is so many great people, so many great artists, so many really special people, smart people, and wonderful artists in this space, keeping this space alive. Maybe you could leave us with some words of inspiration, some advice. I think it's a perfect guy to do it. You've seen a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of hills, a lot of valleys. So why don't you leave us with some words of advice, some inspiration, and take it from there, Lord.
Yeah. Thanks. So I'll say, if you're new in this world, it could also be true for people that has been around for a while. So I'd say don't give up. Just believe in yourself. You. It you shouldn't compare yourself to others. You should try to learn as much as you can, but do it because it's fun when you create art, because it gives you something of value. And then connect to communities, because like this world runs on connections. So if you want to be seen and maximize your chances, then the best way I think to do that is to engage yourself in a community, because there is power in numbers, and the community leaders work a lot to create connections and to create opportunities. So that's a possibility, and don't be afraid to reach out to a person. I saw in the beginning, I saw that on X, that so many people were afraid of commenting, to say something is good. That has changed now, thankfully. But it felt like in the beginning, like if you put a comment, then you kind of vow to marry with that person forever. So it's not like that. It's artists need to know, if you like something, tell the artist that you like it, because that gives power and energy to the artist. Just help out, and there are so many great people around here. So and you have all possibilities, and that's the beauty of Web3. Kind of that you can get in direct contact with. So for example, like I know very well now the CEO of Montreal AI, and a lot of other people that would have been impossible to meet in real life. It's but here in Web3 you have the possibility. So kind of work on your things, be a nice person, contribute, help out others, and they'll help out you too. So yeah.
Okay. Lord, I want to say good advice, great show. Got a chance to really learn about you, really understand more about you. I mean, I'm not surprised about anything on this show. It's spending a lot of time with you in spaces. You could just, you're a very technical person, the way you speak. And it's just a very logical person. And so I knew there was going to be a lot of tech and a lot of logic behind you. It's also nice to get a better understanding of AI and seeing it from a logical point of view, and listening to you, speak about that. I want to say thank you for coming on the show. I want to say thank you for spending your time with us, dropping your knowledge, advice, as well as sharing your art. And, want to wish you the best, especially when, it's excited about this art landing on the moon here. That's a big deal, a big story. And you're a part of that. And so it's going to be very interesting watching you grow and seeing the community grow. And we fix that thing with the collectors behind the scenes, because I woke up today, I had so many ideas and so many thoughts, and I said, just got to take this art stuff mainstream, and would love to see that happen. So, man, thank you for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. So. And I think you're doing an amazing job hosting these shows. It's an honor for me to be on the show. So thank you.
Well deserved, Lord. One last question. Artist gets to pick the track, the song on the way out. So you're more than welcome to drop that link in the DMs while I close out the week, close out the show. And I look forward to checking out what track. And you can bounce if you want. You got something to do. If you got dinner or something going on, you can hang out to wave goodbye. It doesn't matter. But either way, we're going to close out. We'll close out on your art. Man, thank you very much. Great show.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome, Lord. All right, guys. You had a chance to meet Lord. Let me move these back. Hang on one second. Let me get okay. There we go. All right, guys. You had a chance to meet Phil, Lord, better known as Lord in the NFT community. Lord _I, 4 I's and P. Very interesting fellow, but not one thing surprised me about this conversation. Just another big brain in the space scientifically, logically, and then also now applying himself in the art world. So I think another huge benefit to this world, right? Especially this NFT world. You can't have enough people in the background trying to fix things. It's just things break and or things need to be fixed. And so people who fix things, very useful. Take it from somebody who fixes things. All right. On that note, good show. What else? What else I got? So that's the week. That's HOP. We're closing for the week. Monday, you guys had a chance to meet Acid. You could check out his show. Derek came on and showed us his art. What a great show. Midweek, we had the Win community, Women in NFTs with Nastaron. And the whole entire crew of artists. We got a chance to see seven different artists, as well as listen to what their community was about. As I think, and then today we had Lord. Lord Phil joined us and introduced himself, and got a chance to learn about his art and him as well. Next week, I know the schedules are set, but it's not coming to me who's next week. But I know it's going to be a good week because I looked at it. I know the community show is One Love Art DAO, so that's going to be a great show. And then who's Monday? Wick is Monday. And then Friday is, I think, Phantom. Yeah. I think that's the week next week. I think we got Wick. We have the One Love Art DAO on Wednesday. And then we have Phantom on Friday. So going to be interesting. Good 3 shows. New artists coming on. And a very well known community. Who was the feature community of the super community with Sketch, Shira, and Linked by Art. So going to be a good week next week. Next, it's the Spaces, right? It's TGIF. We'll start it up at 1. My co-hosts, Sun and Alina, will join in, and we will have a good time over there. It's not really a chill spot. It's just we go and hang out. So you all are welcome to come join us and come hang out and chill. Only 2 spaces. Tuesday, 9 to 11 with Linked by Art with Sketch and Shira, and then Friday, TGIF with Sun and Alina. So I will see all you guys next week. Until then, it's been a pleasure, and it's Friday, y'all. I don't know if you're up in the Northeast, but we're getting some terrible weather the next 4 or 5 days. Going to be a lot of snow. So you get your shovel on, and then get your art. Get back to creating art. It's a good time to create art, especially in the winter. Good way to keep your mind moving. I'll see all you guys on the next show. Let's get over here and say goodbye to everybody. All right. We're gonna welcome everybody. We're gonna say thank you to everybody. It's gonna be a point in time when I can't thank everyone, but we will now. All right, let's do it. Sahar, thank you for joining in and joining the show. Hang on, let's bring up his track. I know he's got a track. Epic album, Orange, Just a Man. All right, hang on. Let's bring this up. Let's see if we can find this YouTube link. There it is. Yeah, that's him. That's him. Epic. Okay, we got it. Yeah. All right, I'm bringing this track up here for a second. Let's double. Even gonna double guess it. No, we'll leave it like this. I'll double screen this. I'll just screen. All right, Lord. Last chance to say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you all for watching. Love you all.
Excellent. Lord, we will catch you in Web 3 and on Spaces, and we'll see you out there. I got Epic. Yeah, this is Just the Man, right? Yeah, this is the track you webcam. All right, good. There we go. We got everything set. Let's move over to your art, and let's get ready to play out. Before we do that, we will say goodbye to everyone. Hang on. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Sahar, thank you for tuning in and joining in. Anuta, thank you for joining in and tuning in. Sketch. I missed Sketch the first time. Good morning, Sketch. Thank you for tuning in, joining in. Jessica, thank you for tuning in, being part of the show. Linked by Art, thank you for tuning in, joining in. Prism, thank you for coming in, joining. Good to see you. 23 Artists, Sven, good to see you. Thank you for joining in, being a part of the show. I think we got everybody. We got everybody? Yes, we did. Let's go. Let's go jump over to the gram and say hello to everybody over here. Arth, thank you for joining in. Andrew, Lloyd, thank you for joining in. Sahar, over here, thank you for joining in. Guerrera, Mafa, Ordinary Artist. Pega, hello. Good to see you, Pega. Thank you for joining in. Atusa, thank you for joining in. I think we were pretty quiet everywhere else. Yeah, we were quiet on Facebook. BB, what's up, BB? Thank you for joining in. BB was watching on Facebook. We got viewers from everywhere. Good to see you, BB. All right, guys, let's bring up his art. We'll see you later, Lord. Get your art up here. And let's bring this stuff up. There we go. We'll bring up Lord's art. All right, guys. See you on the next show, everyone. Make this full screen. Boom, boom. Full art screen. Boom, boom. Full art. There we go. I'll bring this over. All right. We'll see everybody on the next one. Till then, enjoy Lord's art.
I look into your eyes and I think back to the son of mine. You're as old as he was when I left for war. Will these actions haunt my days? Every man I've slain is the price I pay. Endless pain. Close your eyes and spare yourself the view. How could I hurt you? I'm just a man. trade the world to see my son and wife. I'm just a man. But when does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster? When does a ripple become a tidal wave? When does the reason become the blame? When does a man become a monster?
When does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster? When does a man become a monster?
I'm just a man. I look into your eyes and I think back to the son of mine. You're as old as he was when I left for war. Will these actions haunt my days? Every man I've slain is the price I pay. Endless pain. Close your eyes and spare yourself the view. How could I hurt you? I'm just a man who's trying to go home, even after all the years away from what I've known. I'm just a man who's fighting for his life. Deep down I would trade the world to see my son and wife. I'm just a man. But when does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster? When does a ripple become a tidal wave? When does the reason become the blame? When does a man become a monster?
When does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster? When does a man become a monster?
I'm just a man.
I want everybody to have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next show. Peace. Thank you for tuning in.